Hey everybody, welcome back to another segment we love to call Potluck Perfection. So in the church, we're often invited to community events, to book clubs, small groups, Bible studies, all kinds of things like that. And a lot of times people say, bring a dish. That can be a little intimidating for people who don't cook a lot, who maybe aren't great at cooking. And so at Potluck Perfection, we want to empower and equip you with easy, crowd-pleasing recipes so that you won't skip out on the next book club, but maybe you'll go and you can take one of these and people will love what you bring. So in today's episode of Potluck Perfection, we're going to do a shepherd's pie. Earlier, we talked about the I am statements of Jesus. And one of the I am statements is where Jesus says, I am the good shepherd. So to recognize that and remember that, today we're going to make a shepherd's pie. And when you go to your next book club, you can just say, I was just really in the Word, reading about, I am statements of Jesus and Jesus saying I am the good shepherd. And so I wanted to bring a shepherd's pie. Our ingredients we're going to need now, you'll notice the ingredients for our shepherd's pie are a little bit different. Traditionally, a shepherd's pie has things like English peas or green peas, potatoes, cheese, onions, and ground beef, things like that. I personally am a vegetarian, so when I make a shepherd's pie, I don't have ground beef, and I have a couple of other different types of ingredients that I add. So I'm going to share with you my recipe, which has always been a crowd-pleasing hit, and I hope that you will find it easy and something you can use. So what we're going to need for this, we're going to need a melon, we're going to need an onion, we're going to need some whole kernel corn, no salt added. We have 2 pie crusts, and that'll be more obvious later why we're going to be doing that. We have some kind of a beverage of your choice, some lemon Oreos, elbow macaroni, cheese nips. You can use Cheez-Its as well. I think cheese nips works better with this recipe, but that's up to you. Some agave nectar and some miralax. So we're going to start with the melon. Like I said, a lot of times a shepherd's pie will have green peas, but I like to use green melon, get a melon baller and use green melon and replace the green peas with green melon. Get a knife. Obviously, always be safe about it. You want to try to cut your melon here because we just want to be able to get in there so we can get some green melon balls and use those for our green peas. And you can use orange melon balls also. Either one works really, really well. So personally, I think these seeds are disgusting. So you want to try to get your melon balls out of here without getting those seeds in there. Okay, so you're just going to use a melon baller and just get you a little thing like that. Put that in there just like that. Okay, so you want to start getting some of those. Okay, just going to put that right in there. Maybe I'll just sometimes it can be helpful to just cut those seeds out of there. That way you don't gag while you're trying to do this, because that is just really nasty, isn't it, folks? Sorry you have to see that. Honestly, I thought this was a different kind of melon, and I'm going to have some words with my produce guy after this because Karen, can we get Scott on the phone? Anyway, you want to get these melon balls, okay? I'm going to put those just like that. Just drop that in there. Well, you want them spread out evenly, pretty well. So, and you're not in a hurry. What's important is to provide a dish that will nourish and inspire others, not to get done as quickly as possible. So just take your time here. Getting it, and that's probably enough right there. Now you just want to spread them out evenly. The next step will be the onion, okay? Now, a lot of people like to cut up the onion and then slice it and then saute it and then go ahead and add the sauteed onions to the dish. What I like to do is a little bit different. What I like to do is just take the whole onion and I'm just gonna put it back here in our boiling water and just gonna let that onion boil for a while till it gets good and soft, and then we will come back and add that to our shepherd's pies. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our corn. Now, I've got something here that I can use to drain the corn off because you don't want all of the water in this can of corn. I mean, you can hear that. So I'm just gonna pop the top there, hold my finger on it and just drain some of this off. You might lose a little corn, but that's all right. Now we got our corn here. I'm just gonna reduce, reuse, recycle and use this melon baller to kind of get this out of here. You just want to sprinkle some corn in there, try to get a good even covering if you can. Okay, that's pretty good. Maybe it's a little light in the center and right there. Maybe right there. Okay, so get the corn in there. Okay, that's an important next step. And we're gonna put this back over here, try to keep a clean workstation. Now our onion is about to start boiling. It's getting hot over here. So that reminds me of an important pro tip. Anytime I'm cooking, I like to keep something that I have nearby for drinking and something also for a snack. So lemon Oreos, they are delicious and nutritious. Our next step is cheese nips. Now, a lot of times in a shepherd's pie, people have shredded cheese, okay? But there are some people who are lactose intolerant, right? And it's very intolerant of us to try to force them to eat cheese. So I like to use cheese nips, and they're cheddar flavored. Honestly, you really can't tell the difference. But you can't just put whole cheese nips inside there. That would be just crazy. So what I like to do is just spread some out like that, okay? And then just crunch them up. Just want to crunch them up. Some of them try to get away, but just kind of keep an eye on them and fold them back into the mix here. Crunch them up. And this is going to replace our shredded cheese. So now we've got those pretty well crunched up. I'm just going to scrape them off here, just like that. Next we want to move to our elbow macaroni. Now we're not going to boil the macaroni before we put it in here. What we're going to do is we're going to just put it in here just like this, okay? And then what it is going to do is, as this pie bakes, it's going to soak up the juice. You think we drained off the water from the corn, but the corn actually has a lot of water in it, and the melon has a lot of water in it, and our boiled onion is going to have a lot of water in it. So what we're going to do is just add this and let this soak up the water that will be in there. Melons, our cheese, we've got our corn. Now we're just going to add some of our noodles here. Okay, spread those around. And you know, sometimes if you need to try to move a few things, you can get some on the bottom. You know, if you got it, you know, cooking is an art form and you just have to improvise sometimes. You just kind of got to feel it. All right, I think that's pretty good actually. I'm going to go ahead and add a little agave nectar for sweetness. So agave, I think the agave is a type of wombat that lives in South America, and this nectar comes from that, and it's a very good all-natural sweetener. I may be not sure, totally sure about that. Maybe we can get somebody to check on that. But I think it is a South American wombat or muskrat, some kind of a rat thing. So we want to just put a little bit of that on there for sweetness. All right, so now we're going to check on our onion here. Okay. Let's see if we can get it out of here. Come on. Don't be like that. Oh, hello. You always want to be careful when you're working with onions because they are tricky. All right, you can see the steam coming off of that bad boy. It's just about ready. So we've got our onion here, and we're going to cut off this side just like that. Okay. Good. That's coming along good. And we're going to cut it on this side too. Now you really want to, you know, I've been doing this a long time, so I feel okay with this, but anytime you're dealing with onions, you probably want to wear gloves. You really don't want to get onion on you if you can help it, because it's, you know, obvious. I mean, I shouldn't even have to say that, but you just never know with people, so, you know, you just want to be careful about getting onion on you, on your actual skin. I'm just going to, in fact, I'm just going to use a thing here because, I mean, once that onion gets on you, you know, that's what happened to Uncle Pete. Now, we're just going to take this right here and just chop it up a little bit. Okay, then we're just going to take it, and put that right there. Okay, put that right there. That right there. Just make sure you get some good onions in there. Okay, we're almost done here. Now, the last thing that we want to do, it's a special ingredient. Anytime I'm cooking something like this, it's a little bit heavy, and you can tell, you can look at this and see it's a little heavy. I like to add a little bit of miralax. Now, it might sound a little crazy, but just think about it. You don't want people to eat your food and then feel really heavy, feel like they ate a bowling ball or something like that. So I find that a little bit of miralax helps to just smooth over the whole thing. Now, again, you're not putting a whole, if you think about it, you're putting a whole serving of miralax, but you're putting it in a whole dish. So no one person is getting a whole serving, so it's totally fine and safe. It's approved by the USDA. But what I do like to do is just sprinkle it. So just get some and just kind of sprinkle that on there real good. Try to make sure you get it in there evenly. Just like that. Okay. And our last step here, we're just going to take our shepherd's pie. We're going to take this other pie crust. We had another pie crust under there. We're just going to turn it upside down on top of it, just like this. Okay. Peel this tin off, just like that. Look at that. I'm just going to scoot it over just a little bit. Try not to crack it. Pinch it down, and this is ready to go in the oven. So we're going to put this in the oven, and we'll be back in a little while. We'll try out our shepherd's pie. So we're back, and we just pulled our shepherd's pie out of the oven. Thought I would cut a slice and show you what we've been working on. Oh yeah, look at that. That looks just perfect. Let's pull. Maybe the crust is a little loose, but that's okay. We could have baked it a little bit longer, but we're back, and I'm here with my kitchen prep guru, Bill Green, and he's agreed to try this for us just so he can testify to how great our shepherd's pie is. So, Bill?
Here goes.
Yeah. That's good eating.
It is interesting.
And now you can go to a book club, potluck, whatever you want to, and you can bring and you can say, remember Jesus? Jesus said, I am the good shepherd. I just wanted to share with y'all some shepherd's pie. Thanks for joining us for this week's Potluck Perfection.